Okay guys, so now you understand that it's critical to have accurate test results. So here's how to test your water with the DPD test kit. So the first and most important aspect is just make sure that you understand and know your test kit. So most test kits have very simple and easy to follow instructions, an instruction manual or a booklet. I highly recommend that you read this guy multiple times and know your test kit. That's the most important aspect of testing your water correctly. With that said, there's a few general guidelines that are going to apply to most test kits. So first of all, talking about our sample size. The first step we want to do is I've picked a spot on the deck that is in between returns. Chlorine can come back on the return water, so we don't want to test right next to a return and get a false reading. The next thing is we want to make sure that every time we rinse our test kit, test block at least 2 or 3 times, as well as the test lid. The next step is to get a proper sample. We want to invert our test block, go 18 inches down, and get our sample. Okay? Next, we want to make sure that we're checking our water level at eye level, and what will happen oftentimes is that water will cling to the side of the vials and it will create a meniscus, kind of a smiley face. We always want to measure at the bottom of that meniscus as well. So we're talking about milliliters of water in parts per million, so it's very important to make sure that our sample size is correct. The next step is when we're getting our test result. When we're actually performing the test, we want to make sure, first and foremost, that we're holding our dropper straight up and down. This is a nice uniform drop. Okay? We don't want to go at an angle because that changes the drop size. So straight up and down. Additionally, we want to make sure that we test immediately. The test result can change if we don't test within 1 minute. Next, we want to make sure that we're using the lid. We don't want to use our hands or our fingers because that can interfere with the test result as well. Finally, when performing the test result, when we're going to compare our test result, we want to make sure we're checking, if we're outside, we're checking to the northern horizon, or if we're inside, we're making sure that we have a light background, not a dark background, interfering with our interpretation of our test result. So those are some of the basic fundamental principles to using a DPD test kit.